Hi everyone, welcome to Thursday 30-minute yoga. I missed you last week. I wasn't able to teach last week, so looking forward to today's practice. Thanks for joining me. We'll get going in about a minute. So find your spot on your floor, lay out your mat, have your block for support, bringing that floor a little closer to you if you need it for any of our poses. Make adjustments as you need to. So if you want to go into a higher level pose, feel free to extend, work on balance, go a little deeper into a stretch if you want to. And if that's not in your practice today, then just settle in where it's comfortable and enjoy. So this is not about overachieving. Yoga is about staying within your limits, but also carefully trying to stretch a little bit. So every little bit is an accomplishment. So have a good practice, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Let's get into our beginning Shavasana position. So we're going to take ourselves right down onto our mat and even enjoy just the act of coming into this position as we feel every part of our body touching the floor. Maybe it's just been our feet, or maybe we've felt the contact of a chair under our hips, in our glutes, in our thighs, in our back, connecting to the back of a chair, but we haven't had all of our limbs, the back of our head, our shoulders. Really feel the support here. Parts of your body taking equal weight, distributed, heels, back of hands, back of head. And the ability to just relax, not feeling like we have to hold ourselves up. Focusing in on your breathing, in and out through your nose. Notice how it just comes natural. We don't have to tell ourselves to do that. What we may have to remind ourselves about is sending that breath into those areas where we're still holding on to tension. And your spot or your spots might be different than mine. I tend to hold tension in my jaw, through the abdomen, and through the glutes. So that's where I tend to need to send that breath. And you might find your breath starting to get deeper and longer as we allow ourselves to slow down. Sometimes taking a hand onto a chest and your abs, and then feeling the rise and fall. Just using another sense to become aware of our breathing. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, holding at the top. Opening your mouth, exhaling loud and long. Doing that again, inhaling through the nose and hold. Open the mouth, exhale long and loud. One more time at your pace. In and out through the nose. Your pace of breathing. A few more. Starting to wiggle fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. It's a slow movement. And then taking hands above head, running your fingers and toes in opposite direction. And as you exhale, bring those knees in. Slowly rolling side to side. Keeping your hands on your shins just below your knees, and roll those knees in opposite directions. So one's going clockwise, one counterclockwise. If your eyes are still closed, if you're comfortable keeping them closed, that's great. If you want to start to flutter them open, getting used to the light, let's slow down those legs, and now they go in opposite directions. Just having those hips opening, getting fluid going through the hip socket, and now bringing those knees in, and let's roll up through the head, shoulders, into a little ball. And as we come down, maybe you'd like to extend and go nice and long. You can go right flat on the ground, or you can leave those feet and hands up, and let's get small again. This time let's roll the head and the shoulders down, and pressing your feet as though they're going to walk on the ceiling and go into happy baby. So hands outside of your feet while your arms are inside of your knees. Again, a chance to roll, massage through lower back. And now, bring those knees in and raise. Right arm above your head as you roll over onto right side. Pressing it up. And coming into table position. So placing those hands under your shoulder, wide fingers. Pressing the elbow creases towards the front of the room, but not locking out. Into a cow with the belly sagging down, chest opening, inhale. And then rounding into cat. Pulling the belly button up into your spine. Stretching through the shoulders. Back down into cow, open the chest and inhale. And rounding into cat. You can be propped up on your toes, or the top of your feet can be flat on the mat. That's all preference. Doing a couple more. Cat, cow. And finish up your last one. And we'll come to table position. Let's move your hands just a little bit forward. Getting ready to go into our first downward facing dog. And if you would prefer, you can go first into puppy, which is leaning back, extending your arms, but keeping the hips off your heels. If you've gone into downward facing dog, let's warm up the back of those legs by doing a slow pedal side to side. Feel the stretch all the way down, hamstrings, calves. Don't worry that you're not meeting the floor with your heels. It's just the direction that we're going in. We all feel the stretch at different levels of extension, so we don't have to touch. That might be an eventual goal. Maybe it's not today. That's okay. Bringing those legs to stillness. We're going to press a little bit more through the window of our arms and the tail pointing up to the ceiling. And now come up more onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward to your hands, and walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Bringing those hands to heart center. And we're going to stand in mountain pose with Those hands slowly coming down, resting at our sides, palms facing forward. I'm going to turn to face the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Feet are going to remain hip width apart. We're going to inhale up. Right hand grabs your left wrist. Ground both feet as you lean directly to the right side. Trying to keep that left shoulder pulling back so that we don't start into a forward lean, and feel the left side of your body opening. And if you want to be a little active in this move, as you inhale, you stand up slightly, and as you exhale, you increase the lean slightly. On your next inhale, come back up to standing straight and bring the arms down. Inhale again, grab onto your right wrist with your left hand, and then as you exhale, lean over to the left side. Check your feet, grounding evenly, both feet, so we don't start to lift the right foot. Check your right shoulder, it's pulling back. And again, if you want to make this an active stretch, as you inhale, you stand up slightly. As you exhale, you lean a bit more into the stretch. On your next inhale, come back up. Bring those hands down and stand in mountain pose. Into tree pose, we're going to move our weight onto our left side of our body. And we can have a block close by if we'd like to use it. Popping up our right foot. And now opening the right knee to the side of your room. And rest that heel onto the ankle. So right heel onto left ankle. Here you can pop up your toe every once in a while and work on balance. You can bring the bottom of your foot to the side of your calf. If it's in your practice, you can bring bottom of your foot onto the inside of your thigh. Pass over your knee, pressing foot and thigh together, and bringing those hands to heart center. Always an option to raise the branches of your tree. Noticing if your breath starts to get short as we get into a more intense balance pose. Try to keep it relaxed. Bring those hands back down. Let's slowly bring the knee forward and step down onto the floor, not your block, and release. So you can have your block at the side. I didn't use it, but you can have your block at the side if you want to start moving from foot on the ground to foot up a little higher, and you just have something to lean on there. So let's get ready for second side. Grounding on my right foot, popping up my left knee, and then opening so I have open hips, knee to the side. Starting with bottom of my left foot on my right ankle, and I can pop up my toe just once in a while for balance. I can move into bottom of my foot on the inside of my calf. Maybe not in my practice on this side. If it's in your practice, you can move your foot onto the inside of your thigh. I'm going to stay here. Hands coming into heart center. Feeling that balancing leg, grounding, making sure we're not locking out the knee, extending your branches. Keeping your breath nice and long. Slowly bring those hands back down, knee comes forward, and place it on the ground. I'm going to move my block and move myself back up to the top of my mat. Inhaling nice and tall. Swan dive down. Inhale, flat back. Hands down, stepping back into our first Chaturanga Dandasana. So you can go high or low plank. Slowly lower down with elbows close to your upper body. And coming up into a low cobra. So we've done some balancing already, but we really haven't done a whole lot of work for the back. So making sure we don't get too intense. And passing through table or right into downward facing dog. Walking out if you want to. Coming to stillness, pressing our chest and our head through the window of our arms, pressing the tail up to the ceiling. And now we're going to lift the left leg up high, three-legged dog. Bring the knee into the nose and step it through your hands at the top of your mat. Coming up into crescent lunge. Those arms can be at your side, or you can raise them up above your head as though you're holding onto a beach ball. And then adjust with the back leg, come up a little higher onto the ball of your foot. Settling your breathing, softening into the pose. On your next inhale, turning that back foot so it's parallel with the short edge of your mat into our warrior two. Relaxing the shoulders, extending the arms front and back, and then settling your gaze over your front fingers. On your front leg, you can look down and see your big toe. Your knee stays behind your toes and your thigh presses out. Feel that opening through your hips, inner thighs. Flip the palm, exalt your warrior. Back into warrior two. We're going to bring back that front knee almost straight, but not quite. Lean forward, extend, and then tip down into triangle. That front arm, we've got shoulder pressing back. This is another spot where we can use our block, so if we feel like we're not going to be able to reach down to our ankle and we want a little bit of support, we can use a block to help us balance. We're going to bring down that top arm, look forward to that front foot, and again, using the block, if it's something that will help you, we're going to revolve our triangle. So as we do this move, you'll really feel the stretch. For me, it's my front hip, so my left hip, I really feel the stretch there. Slowly come back to center, moving the block if you were using it. Pop up onto your back foot and then take a step forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Forward fold. Flat back. Hands down, step back. Your choice of flow as we go through Chaturanga Dandasana. You can add push-ups, going a little bit higher into your cobra, upward facing dog, and pressing back, downward facing dog. Extending your right leg up, bending the knees, stepping through your hands. This time I'm going to give the cue that we have our block close. So keep it close so you can grab it. And let's come up into our crescent lunge. So again, we've popped up a little higher on that back foot, so we're on the ball of our foot. If it's in your practice, you can even take a lean back with your crescent lunge. Still trying to keep that grapefruit under your chin so that we don't have too much of a lean back through the neck. Coming back, and we're going to rotate into our warrior two. So back foot parallel with the short edge of your mat. Heel to arch alignment. Relax through your shoulders, and then your gaze settles over your front fingers. Front thigh pressing out slightly. Flipping the front palm. Exalt your warrior. Stretch the front side of your body. Back into warrior two. Maybe settle a little deeper if you came out of that stance slightly. And now we're going to bring the leg back, but not quite straight. Reach forward and extend, and then tip down. So triangle pose. Again, this is where we can, if you choose, you can use your block at any height. As we sit in our triangle, we're trying to make sure our top shoulder pulls back slightly so that we don't start a forward lean. And if you find you're doing that, maybe you need to come out of how deep you are in the pose. So make any adjustments you need to. We're going to bring that hand down, look forward to that front foot. Make use again, if you need to, of a block. So it's always there, or a towel. And we're going to revolve our triangle. Breathe. And slowly come back down. Hop up on the back foot and turn it so toes are pointing forward. And now take a step forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Swan dive down. And let's just hang here for a minute. If you want to take those feet just a little wider apart, we're going to really bend our knees and bring our chest and our abdomen onto our thighs. Send your hips back a little bit. We don't want to dive forward. And then we can grab onto opposite elbows. Maybe it's a little sway side to side. And then placing hands down. And let's extend up again, flat back. Exhale, hands down, stepping back. Chaturanga Dandasana. With or without your push-ups. Cobra or upward facing dog. Pressing back. Downward facing dog. Extend that tail all the way up. Left leg up again. We're going to bring the knee in to the nose. Extend back. Left knee, left elbow. Extend back. Left knee, right elbow. You can put the foot down, extending out through the window of your back leg and your arm. And return and extend the arm up. If it's in your practice, you can lift that left leg for me. It's the one that's sticking out to the side. And slowly coming back into three-legged dog. Slowly bring that knee into your nose, step through, and come on up Do another crescent lunge. Bring those hands down, step forward, inhale, and exhale down. This is your last flow. Push-ups, no push-ups. Cobra, upward facing dog. Back into downward facing dog. And then lifting up, right leg behind you. Knee comes into your nose. Inhale, leg up. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Extend the leg. You can rest it on the ground. Turning into a side plank. And we can lift the leg. Or not. Slowly coming back to center. Extend that leg. Three-legged dog. We're going to bring that knee in and right down. Other knee comes in. And we're going to sit it right back into child's pose. So your heart rate might be up a little bit on this one. Those last couple of moves, a little more challenging. If you were working on the balance and lifting extra limbs. So feeling the back body, doing the breathing. Slowly coming out of that child's pose, sitting back and bringing those legs forward. Toes pointing back towards your nose. Adjust so that you're on your sits bones, nice and tall. Deep breath in. Exhale as you slowly hinge at the hips. Try to keep the chest open. Slowly come on back. Make any adjustments you need to. Sitting up nice and tall again. Inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips, leaning forward. Maybe on your second time it has gone a little further. If not, it's okay. Just an observation. Slowly bringing those shoulders back. Putting your hands behind you for support. Feet are wide, and we're just taking the hips side to side. So we did some twisting today, so we just want to slowly thank those hips. Bring them back in. We're going to land with our feet together, cobbler's pose. So soles of our feet. Doesn't matter how close they are to your body. Try to sit up nice and tall. As we open through the thighs, feeling the inner thigh stretch. Some of us might be able to bring our elbows onto our thighs as we lean forward. If not, we're just hinging slightly again from the hips and trying to keep the chest open. Feel the stretch through the inner thigh intensify. Breathing through that. And slowly coming up. One last time with that windshield wiper move. And then bring those feet close together and slowly roll yourself down. Knees in. One last little ball. Holding still for a little roll. Nice calming, slow movement. And then slowly bring down the head, shoulders, the feet, extend. extend those legs. Extend your arms, palms up. Relax those feet and ankles so your toes drop to the outside of your mat. Relaxing the fingers, they might curl slightly towards your palms. Again, feel the connection through all those parts of your body that don't normally touch the ground. Feel the support. Feel the chest and abdomen rising and falling again with your breath. If any of those moves were challenging, we might have introduced some tension in areas that we were previously unaware of. So if you are aware of tension right now in the last few minutes of class, send your breath there. Try to relax. Feel free to spend as much time as you need in this position. For those who are following me as we close our class, let's take one last deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. And let's bring those feet in, bend the knees, roll over to one side or the other. Pressing yourself up, coming to seated position. Keeping your eyes soft, joining hands at heart center. Acknowledging the time we spent for practice, dedicated to our physical, mental, spiritual well-being. And I'd like to acknowledge how much I appreciate your joining me for my practice. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. And I'll see you back here next Thursday for Thursday Yoga.